How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Bear Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of Chi-Town collaboration, hopeful goodness, in the form of Hop Butcher for the World and Dry Hop Brewers. It is their Milkstachio. We have a lower ABV milk stout with cacao nibs, or cocoa nibs, I forget which one's on the front because there's a difference, and natural pistachio flavoring. That's a weird one. We'll get to that in a minute. First things first, actually, I got a couple Hop Butcher beers in the mail via Jordan. Thank you very much, dude, from Chicagoland. He sent me off a couple and I thoroughly enjoyed them. Some of the more interesting hop forward beers I've had in a while. And Hop Butcher reached out and they're like, man, laugh at the reviews because they sometimes can be a little bit weird. All the time. Anyway, they dug it, and they decided to send me off a couple of beers, and this is one of them, so thank you very much, guys. As far as what else it says on this, it says Milkstachio, milk stout brewed with cacao nibs, and natural pistachio flavor, 6% alcohol by volume. And on the back here, it has tasting notes, as per all Hop Butcher beers. Is pretty much a hop back here. I'll show you in a second. It says pistachio, vanilla, and chocolate. Done and done. And it says brewed and canned by Hop Butcher. Artwork by Dan Greska. Otherwise, it's cool. I like their other ones. This one's a little bit, I know they gotta go with the green thing. I'm not a big green fan, I don't know. But yeah, that's cool. That's a little hop thing in the back there. So, yeah. So it's 6% cacao nibs and natural pistachio flavor. Now, what does that mean, natural pistachio flavor? I don't think it should be anything to be alarmed with, because anytime you see something with natural flavoring, you kind of assume there's a little bit of kind of subterfuge. But you can't really take, like, peanuts or nuts and things like that and just toss them in the beers typically, because they end up having a lot of oils in those and they kind of break down the beer and you won't get it carbonated or kind of go sideways. So I'm assuming they have some kind of pistachio kind of PB brewers. When they usually put peanut butter in beer, they use like a PB kind of powdered thing. It's kind of that version of that. That's what I assume they're using. So I wouldn't go too wild thinking about what that means, even though I'm the one who brought it up. Anyway, there was a decent head on it, about a finger, maybe a little bit bigger, dissipating pretty quickly. It was super creamy at first, now it's rocky. And she's got this real doo-doo water, in a good way, kind of murkiness to it in a pour. It just had this really kind of grainy, kind of, really put too much powdered tea into the powdered iced tea thing kind of look to her. In a good way. I know that all sounds kind of synthetic and shitty, but maybe I should use better adjectives. Words. Anyway, but yeah, does she look like a milk stout? Actually, she's quite a bit lighter. She, like I said, comes off more kind of really dark brown as opposed to a really kind of rich kind of black to her. So, does she look kind of like a milk stout? Sure. It looks like a really dense kind of nutty kind of iced tea vibe to her. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. Definitely getting like a kind of chocolate nuttiness. It's almost like the malt is coming off. I don't know if it's a pistachio thing. I've been into pistachios like a crazy maniac as of late, so it's definitely a flavor that I'm in tune with. But it's coming off more like kind of milk chocolate with the dab of kind of generic nuttiness. Almost like the malt is bringing the nuttiness as opposed to the pistachio. There's definitely a milk stout kind of vibe to it, so you get a little bit of that vanilla from that kind of lactose. Yeah, I mean, she smells nice. She smells sweet, but not overly sweet. And although the pistachio thing, you kind of get drips and drabs and vibes of it, it's not something kind of just in your face, kind of throwing it at you. So she looks interesting. She smells pretty tasty. Let's see what she tastes like. Cheers. There's this big kind of roasty character to it. This is interesting. I gotta process this. I don't know if I like it or don't like it, actually. I'm somewhere in between. There's this real big bittering component. I don't think it's hops. It's this real big, almost like acidic bittering. Makes sense, right? Kind of to it at the beginning. It's really pronounced. Yeah, there's this kind of alkaline almost, kind of acidity to it. Alkalinity and acidity. Kind of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, causticness maybe, because I'm kind of going a little bit kind of opposite ends of the spectrum there verbiage wise. There's this harshness, and not in an overt negative way, but it's almost kind of like that kind of acidic kind of minerality to it, kind of up front, and it doesn't linger all too much, but it rides throughout the whole beer. The mouthfeel's nice, nothing too crazy. It actually has a lack of carbonation, which is kind of a bummer. It kind of showed it in the head, and then it was kind of fluffy and then crumbled on top of itself. The pistachio is weird because I don't really get pistachio. Maybe I am, but usually when I have pistachios, they're kind of roasted or salted or this, that, and the other thing. So pure pistachio, I can't remember last time I had one actually. But they usually have a little bit of something else going on in them, whether it be pepper and salt or something going on. It's unique. It's interesting. It comes off, the chocolate is probably the biggest component that comes off kind of larger, I guess you would say. But it's interesting. It's that lack of carbonation and that kind of alkaline minerality thing at the beginning, which is probably coming off kind of like that middle astringency thing I talk about with darker beers that I typically get in lower ABV darker beers. It's like that, but kind of jacked up and thrown in a different position in a beer, if that makes any sense. But it's okay. It's interesting. The beer doesn't blow me away. I mean, it's interesting. It's not something that I would go like gaga for, but at the same time, it's a fun taste. I don't know what else to say about it. It's actually really confusing. Usually that's kind of a sign of I'm really, really into a beer, but this one just kind of misses for me. But at the same time, it's super out there in left field as far as what I'm tasting. I just want to keep digging into it to try to figure out what the hell's going on. But for the lack of a fucking half an hour review, this is all you're going to get. Yeah, the chocolate comes off kind of washed throughout it in a powdery sense. Carbonation's low. Mouthfeel's okay, even though that carbonation is kind of low. And not really getting pistachios, but I'm getting this weird kind of astringency thing going on. Really just kind of throws me for a loop. So, yeah, this one's kind of weird and all over the place. And that milkness that definitely comes off in the nose, that milk, like a lactose kind of sugariness, that definitely comes off in the nose. Not so much there in the mouth, kind of beaten back by that little bit of astringency that I talked about so much. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Is it one of the better milk stouts I've had as of late? No. Interesting, fun, a nice swing, but for me, definitely not a home run. I wouldn't say it's a straight out, but at the same time, it might have gone on base, but definitely legged it out. Value to availability? Don't know. Sent to me. So, out there, you let me know how much it costs, where you get it, brewery only, shelves, who knows, and just say if you like what we like this. If you like interesting beers. Because that's where this one lands. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. For me, what it is more of trying to get to a place with some kind of uniqueness and interestingness. There's some words for you. But just kind of falling up short a little bit. The carbonation is a little low for me. That kind of pistachio doesn't really land, or maybe it doesn't. That's why I'm getting that weird kind of stringency thing in there. I don't know. But it's interesting. Fun in a kind of technical sense, but at the same time, it's not something that just viscerally, taste-wise, I'm kind of like, oh, this is fantastic. So there you go. Another review in the books. Long-winded one for you there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, words and stuff and things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untappd, Massive Beers, or not fall. That's words. I said F-A-W-L, not even F-A-L-L in my brain, so I don't know, I'm weird. If you want to check me out in all four of those places, you can. And there you go. Another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice pistachio cocoa kind of beer going on right now. And hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.